Hi, I'm Samantha Martin, and you're listening to Beyond the Melody, the podcast. Today's guest is a genre-blending craftsman, part poet, part producer, and part performer. You might know him from his foot-stomping grit of Shaker hymns, or maybe it's his solo sound that caught your ear. Stripped down, intentional, and soaked in soul. From studio sessions to songwriting solitude, from rock and roll anthems to quiet lyrical gut punches. Me and Nyles are going to discuss it all as we go beyond the melody. Welcome to Beyond the Melody. My guest today is Nyles Robakiewicz.
That's right.
Or just Nyles?
Just Nyles.
Is what we're doing now?
I'm ending up having to be just Nyles, period. But
just Nyles, period.
Just Nyles, yeah.
So it's like a rebrand.
It's a rebrand. A generational rebrand.
Is it because it's so hard to say?
Yes. It won't fit on a marquee.
Yeah.
They normally don't have enough letters.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
The marquee will definitely affect what you name yourself, your stage name.
Yeah.
Well, to get started, let's hear some. What do you have? You have some songs for us?
Yeah, I'll play some.
Yeah. So what are you gonna
play
before we go beyond the melody?
Before we go beyond, I have a song. It's coming out. I don't know when you're gonna air this, but April 15th.
I have a note in my notes about that.
Good.
Yeah.
I have a single coming out. It's called Fence Post Eyes. I wrote this at a diner after I had a conversation with an older gentleman. His hands seen better days, back before the busted knuckles and the shades. Back before he lived his life like Hemingway, and that corner spot cafe had the best coffee in town. But now his eyes hold up the years, like an old fence when a few posts disappear. Some called him crazy, most just called him cavalier, as if he couldn't help but hear from a couple bar stools down. He says if it's all the same to you, I'll take twice what's recommended in hopes to brighten up my blues. Keep my mind at bay. It's probably best that I'm headed home. I wouldn't mind being left alone. Picked up his cigarette out of the ashtray, then he rolled on alone. Slides into his coat, and there's that rattle of prescription in my ear, while he's trying to explain an orange bottle with no name. Start to see those fence post eyes shed a tear. He says if it's all the same to you, I'll take twice what's recommended in hopes to brighten up my blues. Keep my mind at bay. And it's probably best that I'm headed home. I wouldn't mind being left alone. Picked up his cigarette out of the ashtray, then he rolled.
That was so good.
Thank
and
you.
That comes out April 15th.
April 15th, yeah, that'll be out.
Yes.
It's not called Fence Post Eyes.
Yes, and the cover has a fence post with a little smiley face.
It does. I got really lucky.
Did you find that?
So, Dell found that. My lady found that. We have a friend who played bass in some bands. Most familiar that we were with her was a band called the Southern Angels. Her name's Caroline, however you pronounce it. But I guess she had posted on her Instagram and we had been looking day in and day out for album art, and
Yeah.
Del saw it and was like, "Hey, this might work." And I said, "Oh, I think you're right. That might work."
It's
And
perfect
did.
for it.
It did. It was.
I
Really
saw
cool.
it and I was like, I just can imagine Nyles being like, I'm gonna carve a fence post or carve a smiley face into this fence post.
I wish I
That's
was.
what I
that
had in my
creative.
mind's eye. I was like,
That's not me. I have no
you sitting down with just like a knife.
no artistic ability in that sense.
Well, I mean,
like,
it's just a
yeah,
smiley.
well, I wouldn't have even been able to do that.
Oh, okay.
There's no chance.
Gotcha. Well, I'm excited for that to come out. It's a
Me too.
single.
Me too.
Yeah. Do you have anything else, or
Yeah, I'll play another one.
Yeah.
Here's a song that I love. It's called Pining Again. To make a really long, not so funny story short, I wrote this just to be stubborn. I had written this song and I wanted to write a song about nature and about pine trees. So I wrote this song, not this song, but a version of this song. And I played it for someone and they were like, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard." And so I was just so bound and determined to write the song that I rewrote it, and I wrote it this way. And the only thing I kept was pining, which doesn't even really pertain to trees. But I love it, and people seem to like it.
Who was the someone?
Oh, it was my lady, of course. It was Del.
Was it Del?
It was Del, of course. But I don't like to give her as much credit for every song that I've written.
Yeah. It's
She gets
good to have a
most of it.
muse.
Yeah. It's called Pining Again.
Yeah.
I guess it happened again. You're on the phone and I'm on the other end. I've said it once, so I'll say it again. What a fool he's been, can't you see? And I'll be waiting here till you walk on in. I'll dry your tears. We'll fall asleep on the couch watching Cheers. And in a million years it might be me. So I'll keep holding on and holding strong and doing what I can do just to be someone who knows it all, still chose to fall right into your lion's den. And when you cut me down, get under my skin, I'll be what I've always been. I was pining once, now I'm pining again. Don't ask questions you don't want answers to, and don't play for winning if you're scared to lose. And though your mind will never change and mine stays the same, I'll be what I've always been. I was pining once, now I'm pining again. I was pining once, now I'm pining again.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love the double meaning like that.
Yeah,
That's
that's like I
awesome.
said when I was really trying to be cutesy with the whole pining thing, and
Yeah.
it didn't work out in the trees sense, but it worked out in the long run.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, good. I'm glad.
It's one of those, like, serendipitous. You set out for one
it.
thing, end up another.
You got it.
Yeah. Do you have another song for us? Or
Sure. Yeah, I'll
Okay,
play
cool,
one
yeah.
more. I'll play one more. These are all songs that I've been working on for a little bit now. I think this was probably the first one that I wrote in this batch, but I immediately fell in love with it. It's a song about cheating, and I always tell people that you should never cheat. There's never an excuse to cheat unless you've already like taken the class 3 times and you're running out of credits and you have to get it done for your college degree. Then it's okay. But other than that, don't cheat. This is called Reasons. He put his watch down on the nightstand like he always does. She ran her fingers through the back of his hair. Then he spent a couple seconds fighting off the reckless general state of disrepair. If you told him 10 years ago where he'd be now, he'd throw his head back laughing and swear that'll never happen, 'cause he never thought he'd make it past 25 and dating, much less with a baby in the house. But he ain't listening. She's been itching to find out how to make him want to stay. She ain't happy in his backseat, wondering where he'll drive today. He's got his reasons, swears it ain't cheating, 'cause he hasn't let it go all the way. But reasons be damned, he's only man. She heard the buzzing of a beautiful lady for the 3rd time tonight since he'd been home. She tells herself he's busy, it's better than being dizzy. She wraps her head around ending up alone. But she ain't listening. He's been itching to find out how to throw it all away. And he ain't happy with her backseat driving all along the way. She's got her reasons, she swears he ain't cheating, he hasn't let it go all the way. But reasons be damned, he's only her man. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. She ain't listening. He's been itching to find out how to throw it all away. And she ain't happy in his backseat, scared to death he'll drive off today. He's got his reasons, he's dead set on cheating with someone who heard what he had to say. But reasons be damned, he's only man with 2 feet over the line in the sand. Oh, reasons be damned, he's only man. Cheating song. Thank you. I do too. I love it. I wish it wasn't, well, not that I don't wish it wasn't about cheating, but it's one of my favorite songs, and I have to tell people that that's what it's about, and they just look at me kind of weird. I'm like, oh, I just like that I wrote it.
No, it's great. I love it.
Thank you.
I feel like, did you play these 3 songs when you hosted?
I think so, probably.
Or maybe Hotel Keycard was in there?
Maybe. I don't know. They all run together. I don't know that I remember anything from when I'm out in Melody Mountain.
Fair enough.
It's rough out there.
That's a good assessment,
Yeah.
honestly. If you remember everything that happened at Melody Mountain, you didn't do it right.
You didn't do it right. That's the truth. I know, and
For sure.
I've been not remembering it for like 6 years now.
Yeah.
One of these days, maybe.
So, speaking of, perfect segue.
Perfect segue.
Back in 2019, you
Yes.
won the LJT Songwriter competition.
I did.
Which, what an accomplishment. I mean, all of the talent there is so great.
Yeah.
What did that do for you? Like, how did that change the trajectory of your music career?
That was like probably the first real sign of doing anything right. I had been playing in bars for probably 6 or 7 years at that point, and nobody cared. And when I mean nobody, like nobody cared. I couldn't get booked anywhere. I was sending more emails than I think is humanly possible, and no one would reply. And to tell you the truth, I didn't want to do the Songwriter Showcase. I had done one maybe a few months before that, and I didn't advance. And so I was kind of like, man, this is stupid. Like, I'll just keep trying to get gigs. And luckily enough, I had a buddy. He's a really good friend now. He was a manager at the time. He took a video of me playing some songs and submitted me without telling me. And he was like, you got in. Didn't really know what to expect. Went out there and immediately fell in love with the songwriting culture that Larry Joe and the whole Taylor family, they've cultivated. It's pretty cool. And that was, like I said, it was a huge turning point because I think I graduated college maybe a year before, maybe a year and a half. And I was really trying to make a career of some sort in music, or even if not a career, I was really just trying to get booked because I couldn't get booked anywhere. And when I won that showcase, it was like the first sign of validation of like, okay, maybe this isn't all for nothing, or maybe I've kind of set myself up in a good path to have some validation from some songwriters. Like Larry Joe's a phenomenal songwriter himself. And for him to kind of spearhead the whole thing and tell me every now and then. He doesn't say it very often because that would just, that wouldn't be on par.
He doesn't say a lot.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like
So-
the other day, I saw him Sunday, and he walked by, touched my arm, and did this, and I was like,
That's Larry.
in with Larry Joe.
That's Larry. The other day, Race and I were backstage, and he was introducing Race and myself to some of the songwriters that were doing the showcase that week. And he said, yeah, this is Race and Nyles, and they're two of my favorite songwriters. And then he kept talking to the group, and me and Race looked at each other and we were like, did he just say we're some of his favorite songwriters? But yeah, it was a huge turning point, and getting to be part of their culture out there and really accepted into their family kind of with open arms, despite whatever bad decisions I was making at the time. I mean, that was 6 years ago. I was 6 years younger, and I mean, I still haven't grown up, but I'm sure I was just doing all kinds of naughty things that they would slap me on the wrist for and say, hey, don't do that again. And they've been nothing but gracious, and it's been an incredible experience and group to be a part of.
Yeah, for sure. And if you don't know about the Singer-Songwriter Showcase, go. I mean,
Yes.
I guess this will probably come out after the finals, but next year go. It's 6 weeks before LJT, and it's awesome.
I encourage everyone to do it. Pretty much every songwriter that I meet, I say, hey, you should do this.
I do too.
It's life-changing.
I'm like, have you ever heard of the Larry Joe Taylor Songwriter Competition?
Even if you don't win, like we say that all the time, it's just building the community. That's really all it is.
Well, it's a networking. I mean, hell, Presley didn't win,
Yeah.
and she's in.
Yeah.
Like in such
yeah.
a big way. She is
yeah,
in.
she's
You
she's
know?
doing very well.
Yeah, she's doing very well. I mean, it's not about winning at the end of the day for an event like that. It's about making connections.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is an honor to
Absolutely.
win for certain.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So that's where you met Larry Joe?
That's where I
correct?
met Larry Joe.
And
yeah.
y'all have become pretty good buddies over the years.
That's my buddy Larry Joe.
Yeah. What is the best advice Larry Joe has given you for your music career?
Man. Probably you don't need all that guitar in there. mostly talking about my songs.
Really?
Yeah.
You get
but
carried away with it?
That's a yeah, I can get carried away, but that's kind of an oversimplification. Um, when I started playing out there, I've always been really dedicated to songwriting and trying to be the best songwriter I can. Along with that, I love musical production. I do some producing work and things of that sort, and I'm always trying to figure out ways to make a song sound better on a recording. Some of the best advice that I've gotten from Larry and kind of working with him throughout the years is if the song is good enough, you don't need all that stuff in there. You know, the song is king. So he's taught me a lot about really just making the bare bones of the song as good as it can be, and stripping back on a lot of the frills that you don't really need. I mean, it's really just about a voice and a guitar, or a voice and a piano, or whatever it may be. Yeah, that'd probably be the best advice I've gotten. Some of the other advice I can't say; it's industry secret. Can't give it
Fair
out.
enough. Yeah, don't tell them all your good secrets.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So wait, in your new single, is that going to be acoustic or?
No, it's got a
It's the whole
band.
thing,
It's got
okay.
instruments on there, but it's a lot different than stuff I've done before.
For sure,
It's,
yeah.
It's a lot more acoustic instrument based. There's a lot of mandolin and banjo and that kind of stuff.
Strings.
Strings. Instruments. There you go.
Strings.
Yeah,
Love it.
I love it.
So you are, as our friend Taylor Pena so lovingly put it, a low-key genius musically.
That's high praise. I
Yes,
appreciate
it is. It is, especially from her. She's been in the music. She's been following the music for a long time.
Yeah.
So how do you think about songwriting? Do you start with lyrics, and then compose the melody, or the other way around? What's your process? Like when does that guy come into it?
It's different every time. I truly do feel like I'm writing all the time. I don't think that I ever really stop, which is kind of a blessing and a curse because I lose a lot of sleep over it. But it's sometimes it'll just be a line. You know, I'll get a line, or I'll overhear someone in a supermarket arguing with their significant other, and they'll say something like, "Man, that's a great way to put that," and I'll write it down. Or sometimes I'll just sit down with a guitar and play guitar for however long it takes for something to come out. I started playing music when I was 9 years old, and I was notoriously grounded as a kid growing up. I was grounded all the time. So parents would take away everything from me. I loved playing outside, being active, and wasn't a big video game person, but my parents would take away everything except my guitar. And so I would just sit in my room and play guitar forever. And to this day, it's one of my favorite things to do, is just play music in general. I play a little bit of piano as well, and just sitting down and playing for the fun of it is what I do a lot, and then that'll lead into songs, or that could lead into a melody. But I've gone back and forth. Sometimes I sit down and I force myself to write as a working writer.
Yeah.
Sometimes I sit down and play guitar, and something comes out. I have found that if I stay consistent in working, oftentimes those aren't the best songs that I've ever written. They can be good and I can work at them. But if I do that consistently, eventually I'll be able to sit down for fun and something will just spill out. And those are normally the good ones, the ones that kind of just fall out of the sky. They say that you have to hold on to the pen while it just writes away. Yeah.
Yeah. You're just kind of a vessel, right?
A vessel.
Yeah.
That's what they say. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of I don't even know if cheesy is the right word, but they get said a lot that, you know, whenever those songs come out, it seems like they come out of thin air. And when I was younger, I didn't necessarily believe that. But as time has gone on and I think about the songs that have connected the most, a lot of times it was that kind of scenario where I was just sitting in a room and something popped up and I couldn't help but just write it, and it all just gets written at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that those like organic moments are your better songs, or like songs that you kind of have a prompt for in advance are better? Or does it just kind of depend on what comes out?
It depends. I think there's something about a song that just comes out a lot of times it's either something that I need to address personally or something that's going on in my life. And whether or not I know it at that time, that's kind of what ends up coming out. I think those songs tend to connect more because it's such a raw, pure form of the emotion. But I also have had some success writing with prompts. I was in a band or I still am technically, I guess, there's however you look at it, a band called Shaker Hymns.
Yes, Shaker Hymns is great.
Yeah, there's some of my best friends, if not family. But in that band for a long time, the last album that we released was a concept album where I had probably 4 or 5 songs completed that I knew were going to center around this topic. And we built it into a concept album, and I was able to write. That was kind of prompt-based writing to fill up all the empty gaps. And some of the more liked songs on that album were prompt-based. Like I had to kind of fill in holes in the story, and they turned out well. But I think it really is just different. Like I said, the ones that I've found connect with the most people are the ones that just kind of fall out of thin air because it's typically something that I haven't addressed at the time or something that's going on in my life or something that I've seen going on in someone else's life, and I choose to write about it. That
makes sense. People connect to like those human moments, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you are working on a bunch of projects right now, producing, collaborating, playing, the whole thing, everything behind the scenes. Who in your inner circle are you really excited about and think more people should pay closer attention to?
There's a lot. And I'll try to name them all. I'm sure I'll forget a few. Everybody knows Presley Hale.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they will very soon.
You're playing with her tonight, actually.
Playing with her tonight, yeah. She's
We're going to haul ass after this.
Yeah, we are.
Rusty Nickel.
Presley, Nick Brumley, phenomenal songwriter, Race Ricketts. I play with him as well. They've all become very dear friends. They're the best that I've been around since I started, and we're all very similar.
You met all of them at the showcase.
Yeah, all 3 Songwriter Showcase, that's right. And then there's a bunch of kids from San Marcos right now that are doing real well. I've been working with this guy named Ashton Naylor, who I've been playing in his band and kind of producing him a little bit, and he's great. There's another kid named Cameron Albright who's been climbing up the Fort Worth 95.9 The Ranch music charts. There's another guy named Hank Weaver who is equally as talented, and he's been playing a bunch of shows with Slade Coulter. There's a guy named Jameson Edelman as well from San Marcos who is on his way to becoming a very, very prolific songwriter. He already writes great stuff, but he's only going to get better. He's a little bit younger, and he's growing up into some really, really great writing. A kid named Austin Case that I've worked with as well. Another kid named Ian Kasaric. There's too many. I'll forget. I'll forget, or I won't be able to say them all.
Hey, it's good to have friends though that you want to support. Sounds like the San Marcos scene is.
It's kind of taking off. What's been really cool about that is I met Hank first. He kind of introduced me to all of them, and I swear, like, everyone that he introduces me to is a little bit better than the last person he introduced me to. And I won't say what order he introduced me to, because if they watch it, then they're gonna be like, "Hey, man." But yeah, they're all talented, and they're really working hard at it, which is great. You don't see that a lot. I've in the past run into a lot of people that it seems like they like the idea of the lights more than they like the songwriting or the actual craft, and that's not the case with a lot of those San Marcos guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So as someone who spends lots of time in the studio and with other artists, what is your favorite role to play in the studio?
I think it changes a lot. I love playing guitar because it's a hobby of mine. It's a passion, not a hobby, I guess. It's a love. It's how I make a living. But
you're very fortunate then.
I am. I'm very lucky.
Lots of people do not feel that way about how they make a living.
I know. I'm very lucky. I love playing guitar. Playing guitar in the studio is a different animal. It's very concentrated. I do love producing. I think one of my talents or strengths has always leaned more towards big picture stuff. So I do like to kind of see a song or hear a song and see where I can take it. That'd probably be, if I'm being honest, I would say that's probably my best role in the studio is producing, putting a song together. Love playing guitar, and really just, to be completely honest, just being in there, being a fly on the wall and being able to create and hear the way that other people do things, how other people approach things, and sponging off of that and getting able to add creative input. It's been one of my most favorite things that I've been doing the past 2 years. I've been in studios since I was 20, but within the past 2 years, I don't think that I've been out of a studio for more than 2 or 3 days. So it's been great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I want to talk to you about your multiple, I don't know if I would call them alter egos, but
Okay.
So story time for me about you.
Okay.
I first saw Nyles at the showcase. Or I don't know if it was your showcase, but you were hosting the showcase.
Okay.
I think, or maybe it was LJT. I'm not sure, but I see you in that setting, which is very songwritery, poetic, cool, chill vibe, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And this is a shared opinion of me and my dad. We talked about this.
Yeah.
We talk about this all the time. And then we stumble into Fort Worth Music Fest and see our first ever Shaker Hymn show.
Yeah.
Which, you're like an undercover rock star. I had no idea.
Yeah.
At all. The energy was just like full on.
It's a front.
Southern rock.
Yeah, it's rock and roll. I wouldn't call myself a rock star. I think I just.
No, in that moment, I was like, Nyles is a rock star.
That's awesome. That's a great compliment.
No, it was true.
I take that.
So
greatly.
What, like, of those two styles, like, how do you get there from writer to performer? Like, what is that like?
I think it really is based off of the music. Shaker Hymns excels as a rock and roll band. Myself and our lead guitar player Hunter are just obsessive about guitar.
Yeah.
And so a lot of our stuff is guitar based. Our drummer and our bass player come from pretty vast musical backgrounds. Drummer is really into heavier music, heavy metal, rock and roll kind of stuff. I grew up loving rock and roll. I think the common thread with all of us was like really true blue rock and roll 70s stuff.
Yeah.
AC/DC, Leonard Skinner, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, The Who, all those really true rock and roll bands. The persona, I guess itself, it's two parts. It's the music that we play. It kind of leans itself into a different mood of mine, and as well as the influences, I guess, the whiskey or the beer or the gin or whatever it is that day. Not as bad as we used to be, though. When we were younger, we were off the rails.
If you were going from, like, a Nyles solo, like, the Songwriter Showcase type room to the Fort Worth Music Fest with Shaker Hymns,
Yeah.
what would you do in between to transition from Nyles to Shaker Hymns?
So that happens actually kind of often.
Really?
If we have double headers or something, I'll go play an acoustic room, and like I said, I don't think of it as acting, but from what I've talked to people that are in the acting industry, it seems like there's a parallel. Actors always say that they find their inspiration in the text. They read their lines, and that's how they are able to kind of force themselves into this emotion. It's very similar with the music. If I'm doing a broke down acoustic set, I already know that people are there to hear me and a guitar, so I'll kind of lean into my more songwritery based songs, folk, acoustic, whatever it may be. Yeah. If we're going to put on a rock and roll show, I know that the guitar amps are going to be loud, and I'm probably going to stop into a side street bar and take a couple shots before I get on stage.
So it's a little bit of liquid courage.
A little bit of liquid courage. I mean,
it's
probably mostly liquid courage. Like I said, when you said I'm a rock star, I don't think that that's necessarily accurate. I appreciate it a lot because I love rock and roll and I like watching rock stars. But I think it's just kind of an extension of me that I put on whenever we have a lot of drums and guitar amps going.
Well, not to say that you weren't there because you were, but like you weren't there where I was there. I was watching a rock star for sure.
That's awesome. I mean,
me and Dad both talk about. We were like, oh my God, we had no idea. Because you just see this guy who's playing these beautiful poetic songs, very bare and raw, and it's great.
Yeah.
But then we saw that, and I was like, I had no idea. So, I mean, it's cool to see kind of both sides of the coin.
It is. Some of my favorites of all time are similar in that I'm a really big Chris Stapleton, Sturgill, Jason Isbell fan. And they all kind of do the same thing. It's, the song is the root of it. A good song, in my opinion, can be played with an acoustic guitar on a couch in front of anybody. And if it's a good song, it'll go. And you can do the same thing with a band. You can take that song and put a band behind it and rock it out.
That's awesome. So you are a multi-instrument frontman. You do it all. But what gives you the most joy? Would it be experimenting in the studio or just letting it all out on the stage?
Oof, that's a tough one. They're different. Being in the studio is, you have more time to kind of react and do things and feel out what's going to sound good. Live is like a very raw, emotional thing. Depending on the show, if there's nobody there, then that can be emotional in the wrong way. It can be really bad. But if you're playing at a really packed venue and people are really liking it, then you kind of get this overabundance of energy flooding the room, and that influences a lot. It's really hard to pick what I prefer. It probably just depends on the day. I would say this: between the hours of 10 a.m. and 9 p.m., the studio is the best. Between the hours of 9:30 p.m. and 2 a.m., it's live 100%. Yeah.
That's such a non-answer.
Yeah, I know.
But it's okay. It's okay.
Such a hard one.
You
It's
can't
such a
pick.
hard one to answer. I don't think I would be able to pick it.
No, you can't pick.
Yeah,
You love
I don't
them
think I
both.
can.
Well, I'm not going to make you.
Yeah,
So.
thank you.
Good for you. I'm not going to make you. What's been your most unforgettable show? Good, bad, straight up outrageous?
A lot of stuff we've done at Melody has been great.
Yeah.
Probably playing the main stage is about as good as it gets. We got to do Whitewater Amphitheater in New Braunfels as well, which that's where we're from. We're from San Marcos.
Yeah.
And so that's right in our backyard, and it's huge, and we've been dreaming about playing on that stage for years. Probably the worst or craziest show we've played is we played a show for a motorcycle club. They got really, really rowdy, and I can't say any of the details on camera, but it was, I wouldn't say it was the worst. It was definitely the scariest.
Noted.
Yeah.
So you will not be booking any new motorcycle?
I think we did one like 2 months after that, but that one was the scariest, the
Yeah.
one that I'm thinking of.
I went to Sturgis, and that was a pretty wild
I've heard.
experience.
I've never
Yeah.
been, but I've heard. I've had a lot of friends that have gone, and they say that it can get a little scary.
It's cool. I was with my family, so I felt very safe the whole time. That being said, glad I went. Probably would never go again.
At least you did it once.
It was so crowded. Like,
yeah.
so many people. But, is it South Dakota? Wherever they do it?
Sturgis.
North Dakota? One of the Dakotas, probably, right? I don't know. Whatever.
It's somewhere over
that
there.
state, whatever it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I know
yeah.
the scenery out there is great.
Yeah.
But the festival itself scares me.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to. I'm really probably quiet if you don't know me, but then if you get to know me, I can really say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And I don't need to be doing that at Sturgis.
Okay. You blend the worlds of Southern rock, country soul, alt-American. Do you feel like that's strategic and intellectual, or just the result of growing up around good music?
It's definitely not strategic. I wish it was, but I'm not that smart about it. It's what I've listened to since I was a kid. I had pretty vast musical upbringing. My mom, huge like The Cure, Depeche Mode fan, but also Etta James and a lot of that Motown soul stuff. My grandma listened to nothing but doo-wop music when I was growing up, and I spent a lot of time with her. Then my dad was a huge rock and roller, Pink Floyd, one of his favorite bands, and all of that mixed in with growing up in Texas, which is kind of where the country stuff comes from. It's just a melting pot of stuff that I really, really enjoy. And so
there's been times when I've tried to sit down and write like a soul song, and it ends up coming out country.
Yeah.
I just can't help it, or vice versa. So yeah, I try not to think about it too much. I just write however the song feels and how it comes out, and then it ends up kind of blending a lot of the stuff.
Yeah. I ask a lot of people who like their musical influences, and I just feel like with you, I'm like, there's so many different.
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place, which is great. I mean,
yeah, I truly am a fan first. I mean, I can still be driving down the road and hear a song that I've never heard and have to pull over to like listen to it.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
There's something about it, and it really ends up translating with me if I can tell that either the players in the room that were recording that day or the singer or whenever they were writing it, I can tell that it's coming from a really genuine place. It for some reason just really connects with me, and I have no choice but to take it in pretty deeply.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. So you've been playing since you were 9.
Mm-hmm.
You've been writing since you were...
I've been writing just in general since probably I was about first grade, I think.
Oh.
But not like songs. I grew up writing short stories.
Oh, really?
I was always like really enamored by that kind of stuff, I guess. I would like, I say first grade because it's the first time I remember I wrote like a 15-page short story about the American Revolution just because we were learning about it in school, and I loved it so much. Like, it wasn't a homework assignment. I just wrote it on our computer for no reason. But I've always liked telling stories. I was fortunate enough to grow up without a lot of technology, not because I'm that old, but just because we didn't have a lot of it in my house. So storytelling was a big part of mine and my family's culture, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I kind of grew up telling stories. Started writing songs. I think I started writing musical songs, like on the guitar, musical pieces, I guess, when I was about 10, about a year after I started playing guitar.
Do you remember your first song?
Mm-hmm. I
Was
do.
it good?
I'll play it for you right now.
Really?
Yeah.
What a treat. Nyles' first
This is my
ever...
first ever musical song.
Wow.
It was something like that.
Nice.
That was my first ever musical song.
Did it have lyrics?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just music. So I started writing
music. Okay.
Started writing just guitar stuff from the time I was about 10. And then I think my first song I ever wrote was probably about 16. Don't remember that one. But I think I probably wrote a song a year maybe from the time that I was 16 till 18. And then once I graduated college, I started writing nonstop. And so about 18 is when I started, like, probably writing a song a day, if not more than that at the beginning.
Do you currently write a song a day?
No,
What
no,
to say?
I
Oh
wish.
my
I wish. At
gosh.
the beginning I did. I think I could. I definitely could. I've done it before if I force myself to sit down and do it. I would say for me to get good songs, a song that I'm okay with showing to people, I could probably crank out one a week. It would be one or two.
52 a year.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Not bad. I'm actually in a songwriter group right now where we're doing one a week, and most of mine are terrible. But maybe I'll get one good one out of it.
Yeah.
You never know.
How do you like doing those songwriting groups?
They're good. They keep me honest. I can, with as much as I do with other people, and as busy as I am, it's not an excuse. It sounds terrible saying it out loud, and I kind of wish that wasn't coming out of my mouth right now. But as much as I do, it can be hard to force myself to sit down and write for myself. I do because I'm doing so much for other people.
Yeah.
Getting to a point to where I have to sit down. I think it's a good thing. It keeps me honest, and I do more than writing and showing people my songs. I love hearing other people's songs. It's one of my favorite things. I think I'm so close to the craft that when I hear other people, whether it's good or bad, as long as they're making an attempt and it's coming from a good place, I generally enjoy the song as it is. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, rapid fire.
Okay.
Don't look.
No, I won't look.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you rapid fire questions,
Uh-huh.
and you just instinctually
Okay.
go. And the first one is because a lot of people, I used to ask dream venue,
Okay.
and everyone said Red Rocks.
Okay. Yeah, it's a big one.
That's a big one.
It's a big one.
I like the Red Rocks too. I like Red Rocks too. But if you had to pick Red Rocks or Ryman,
That depends. for Nyles, for my solo thing, the Ryman.
fair enough. Actually,
For Shaker Hymns, Red Rocks.
that's a very good answer. Okay, if you were to describe your music, Nyles' music,
Yeah.
in one word, go.
Organic.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, pre-show drink. Just in case anyone wants to buy you a pre-show drink.
Ooh.
What do you want everyone to know?
Miller High Life.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not too crazy.
No, I don't want to say what I really want because if people start buying me the
I
drinks,
want
then
you to say what you really want. It's Rumple, everybody. No, I'm kidding.
No, absolutely not. It would be Miller High Life or a vodka soda.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. If you could only listen to one album for the rest of this year, what would it be?
Ooh, this year.
Not forever. It's too hard.
I know what it is too. I just can't. It's like on the tip of my tongue.
Oh no.
I've been listening to it nonstop. What is it? I'm blanking on the name.
You
but
should
it's
circle back.
It's a Sean Camp album.
Oh,
it's,
that makes that's trash.
I forget what it is. It's a black and white cover. It's him on the cover. It's got a song called.
I'll put it up.
Yes.
On the video. I'll put it up.
The Grandpa That I Know is a song on there.
Yeah. Sean Camp's great.
I've been nonstop listening to him.
Yeah. Okay, I guess this kind of was answered with your Red Rocks or the Ryman, but big crowd or small listening room?
Same as the Red
same
Rock.
as the Red Rocks.
Yeah, big crowd.
Okay,
for Shaker
first
Hymns.
concert you ever attended?
Alabama at the rodeo, San Antonio Rodeo.
Very fun, very fun. Okay, your guilty pleasure artist.
Oh, Chaperone for sure.
Oh, really?
Big Chaperone. Fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like the New Country album?
Love it.
Really?
Love
I haven't
all of
gotten
it.
into it yet.
Love all of it. Red Wine
Really?
Supernova.
Yeah, Red Wine Supernova
Chef's
is
kiss.
great. Yeah. I gotta agree with you on that one. Okay, you play everything, but what is your favorite instrument? I guess it's the guitar. We've
without a doubt.
covered it, y'all.
Guitar.
Oh, well, that's fair. What's your second favorite instrument then?
Piano. I think. Yeah, piano for sure.
What's an instrument you want to learn?
The fiddle.
The fiddle?
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it's very hard.
I'm sure.
Very, very hard.
I'm sure. All of it's hard. I don't play anything.
Yeah.
I just sit there and listen and
Guitar, you could play guitar and you could play piano, probably easier than you think.
no. No.
I believe in you.
I can play the radio.
Hey, that's good enough.
That's it, yeah. Nyles, this has been a great conversation. You've given us a lot to think about
Good.
going beyond the melody. Before we wrap up, will you tell everyone where they can find your music, your social media, any upcoming shows or releases you want to put on everyone's radar?
Yeah. At Nyles on all.
It's spelled, I'll put it on the thing.
Yes.
It's spelled weird.
Nyuhls.
Nyles.
Nyles. I had to get creative. Nyles. My spelling was already taken as a username.
I like
which
it though.
It's crazy. I didn't think Nyles would be taken, but it was. But yeah, Nyles.
I like that you're doing the one name thing.
Yes.
Beyonce.
Like Beyonce. Like
Prince.
Prince.
Oh!
Yeah, dog. Also, kind of with this genre thing, I play so many different genres, and I never want to get pigeonholed. Not because I don't love one genre. Like, I shouldn't say this. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people get on stage and they're like, I'm here to play country music, and I'm only going to play country music. And it's not a pet peeve because I dislike country music. I love country music. Like, it's one of my favorites of all time. But it just carries this, like, air to it, you know, like country music. And so the one name is just to kind of have some genre flexibility because I don't ever want to get pigeonholed into one
And also,
or the
like,
other.
good country music can have, like, a blend of things.
You're
Make it a
telling me, dude.
tapestry.
You're telling
I
me,
agree with
man.
you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, country music.
Country
That's
music.
that's one of my.
I'm playing good music. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
God forbid. Oh man,
No,
that's
No,
all
that's
open a
fair.
can of worms with
I
that.
think I'm gonna join you with that pet peeve.
Good.
That'll be mine too.
Good,
Anytime I hear
yeah.
someone say that, I'll be like, oh, where's Nyles?
Some of my
I gotta
some of
complain to him.
my favorite artists of all time. If you ask them like, oh, what do you play? What kind of music do you play? And they're like, just music. You know,
Yeah.
just play music. And I think that's very healthy to
Yeah.
just classify it as music.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree. Unless you're doing like classical, that's
Classical-
that's one that's kind of hard to.
Bluegrass and jazz.
Those are
like,
pretty.
But there's such an honored tradition that you're
Yeah,
like paying
exactly.
respect.
Yeah.
You know? And I understand when people say country music, they're paying respect to the legends of country music. I totally agree with that. But I don't know. That's a can of worms. I'm not even gonna get into it.
Whenever I tell people like I like country music, I usually say I like red dirt music.
Yeah,
Because I'm not like.
but that's
I
a
don't-
specific thing.
Exactly.
You know?
Like
It's
I
a
like
specific
Nashville
sound.
music, but like I don't go to Nashville music concerts. I go to red dirt concerts.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's different. It's a different vibe.
I totally get it.
Well, anyway, what's on your what you have a release coming up?
Yes,
You have
April 15th.
April 15th
Song called
is-
Fence Post Eyes.
Mhm.
I don't know the exact date, but there will be another single after that.
the songs that you played earlier.
Not that one. Those will be singles as well.
Those will be singles as well.
Kind of gonna do the single game. I have an album
For sure.
recorded, but I'm gonna be releasing singles throughout the year. I'll be playing probably the big one, two big ones. I'm doing Green Hall, April
Nice.
26th or 27th, one of those days, with Jacob Stelly, and then I'll be playing at Larry Joe Taylor's Texas Music Festival in Stephenville in April 20. I'm probably gonna get the dates wrong. 24th and
I'll put
25th,
'em
or
on the
23rd and 24th.
I got your back.
I'll be playing. I'll be having my own set, and then I'm playing with Raisin Presley as well. And I'm super excited about it.
Very cool. Very cool. So, I guess the last thing to ask is going to be, what do you want to tell people about your music, or what advice do you have for upcoming artists?
What I would say about my music is, I probably wouldn't recommend it if you're young and in the party scene. At least right now,
You wouldn't recommend.
I wouldn't
what,
recommend
going
my music.
into-
My
oh,
music.
Your music.
My
in general.
music. Yeah.
Okay.
I think you could probably get along, but when I was younger, I really wanted to be part of a community, a songwriting community, and a playing community, and all the communities that existed at that time were really rooted in partying and rowdiness and hoo-ha, look at me kind of stuff. And I
Mhm.
think I might have gotten trapped into that for a while. That's not the music that I'm making at this moment. It's real life stuff. I'm dealing with real life stuff. So if you're dealing with something in your real life, you should listen to my music. If you're
For sure.
maybe not partying and drinking beer, but any advice for upcoming artists?
Yeah.
I would say focus on your craft more than anything. Content is important. You have to make it and you have to do it, but good content will not beat a good song. A good song will always win, whether it's in the long run or in the short run. A good song is a good song is a good song, and it will beat content every time.
Good advice. I will say though, speaking of content, you have been killing it on TikTok.
Dude, it's the worst, it's a part of it.
I get it. You have to market your songs though,
You do,
and
yeah.
I see you all the time on mine, and I'm like, I'm so proud of him. He's
Thank
doing
you.
it.
I
Like,
appreciate it, 'cause
a lot of artists don't do it, and
It's
I'm
my
like,
least favorite thing.
well, but you gotta do it.
Right.
Sorry.
Someone asked me, they were like, do you want to be famous? Like, you posting all this content? I said, no. I have no desire
But
to
you
be
want your music
famous.
to get out there.
I want my music to get out there, and eventually one day I'm going to want to have a family and, have kids, and I'd like to be able to provide for them. And
Yeah.
I can't do that if no one hears the songs.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, you're killing it in
Thank
that
you.
aspect as well as many others. Thank you so much
I
for
appreciate it a
going
lot.
beyond the melody with us.
Yeah.
We loved getting to talk to you, and I hope that we get to have you on again one day down
Love
the
to.
line and see what all has changed. But
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
Good.
All right. And that's it for Beyond the Melody. Thank you.
We did it.
We did it.